With the second Death Star having been destroyed, along with the Emperor and his enforcer Darth Vader, celebrations erupted across the galaxy. The cheers on Coruscant, however, were short-lived, as Imperial police arrived and fired on the crowd. Clearly, the war was not yet over. A few months later, Wedge Antilles is searching the Outer Rim undercover for signs of the Empire. Arriving at Akiva, Wedge is captured by Admiral Ray Sloan, but he manages to detonate his ship in the hangar and hide inside the Star Destroyer Vigilance. He's shot by Admiral Sloan when she finds him attempting to contact the New Republic. Nora Wexley returns home to Akiva after a 3-year tour with the Rebel Alliance. Her son Temmin is surprised when Nora arrives and shows her the illegal wares business he's been operating out of their home. Feeling abandoned, Temmin lashes out at Nora, but she uses a tranquilizer needle to incapacitate him and take him off-world. Elsewhere on Akiva, former Imperial loyalty officer Sinjir Rathvelis talks to a Twi'lek about watching the second Death Star blow up during the Battle of Endor. Sinjir tells the Twi'lek about the horrible things he did in the name of the Empire. However, he quickly lost faith and went AWOL. The two were forced to attack 2 stormtroopers who began to question them about the New Republic propaganda they were discussing and flee the bar. Admiral Sloan descends to the surface of Akiva to meet with several other high-ranking Imperials in the Satrap's palace. Zabrak bounty hunter Jaz Amari watches patiently as each individual arrives, wanting to kill them all and collect on their bounties. Sloan's pilot, however, notices her and destroys the perch underneath her, and she's knocked unconscious. When she awakens, she's surrounded by the gangster Surratt and his thugs, believing that she was in league with his main rival, Temmin. Surratt returns with Jaz to his shop and finds Sinjir Rathvelis looking for a way off-world to hide his treason from the Empire. Sinjir recognizes Jaz as the Zabrak bounty hunter he saw at the Battle of Endor. He attempts to convince Surratt to release her, but Surratt becomes aggravated, and Sinjir ends up captured as well. Meanwhile, Chancellor Mon Mothma surveys the devastation of a recent battle and is convinced to bring forth the vote to demilitarize. On board Home 1, Admiral Akbar learns of Captain Antilles' disappearance and sends out search teams. The Imperial Futures Council convenes at the Satrap's palace on Akiva, consisting of Admiral Ray Sloan, Slaver Arson Crassus, Grand Moff Pandion, General Shale, and former advisor to the Emperor, Yup Tashu. The air in the meeting is thick with distrust, as everyone sees the others as obstacles to seizing power. Grand Moff Pandion pushes Sloan to use the entire Imperial fleet in hiding to surprise the New Republic. However, the others agree to continue sending Imperial Star Destroyers away to avoid detection. Pandion reiterates his desire for a direct confrontation with the New Republic, while Yup Tashu wants to retreat to the Outer Rim and study the dark side of the Force, believing that it held the key to Imperial resurgence. As the bickering continued, Admiral Sloan begins to realize that the meeting is futile. Elsewhere, Temmin awakens and gets away from Nora on an Imperial speeder. Nora visits her sister's house, but Temmin wasn't there. Temmin was at his shop, but Surratt's thugs were there first. Temmin slips on the roof and is taken by the thugs right as Nora arrives. Jaz and Sinjir break out and find Surratt about to cut off Temmin's tongue. The 3 attempt to flee Surratt and his thugs, but find themselves cornered just as stormtroopers arrive. Jaz is about to surrender when Temmin's modified battle droid, Mr. Bones, surprises them and savagely kills the pursuers, and Nora arrives soon after. Jaz and Sinjir agree to split the bounty on the Imperials, but when Nora overhears about the secret Imperial meeting, she wants in, as well as Temmin. Admiral Akbar's probes find debris from Captain Antilles' ship on Akiva, and he sends in rebel commandos to investigate. John Burrell is the only commando to reach the surface after the Empire finds their drop shuttle. Learning that a rebel commando strike force had entered Akiva adds fuel to the chaos in the Imperial Future Council meeting. Pandion takes this news as further evidence the Empire needs a direct conflict with the New Republic. General Shale counters that this strategy caused the fall of the Empire in the first place. An injured John Burrell awakens and quickly dispatches 3 stormtroopers and continues on his mission. Meanwhile, Jaz and Nora work together to steal a TIE fighter, and Sinjir walks into an Imperial communications station despite being logged as KIA. Sinjir dispatches the officer, and Mr. Bones cleans up the remaining troopers. They use the comm station to broadcast a doctored video of a laughing stormtrooper shooting an innocent child across the capital of Mira. 2 TIE fighters attempt to destroy the station, but Mr. Bones takes out one and Nora takes out the other. Nora heads to the Satrap's palace with the TIE fighter to destroy the shuttles parked there. Nora shakes off the other TIEs, but Sloane is alerted to the stolen TIE fighter and shoots off its right wing. Nora continues towards the shuttles, wishing TIE fighters had ejector seats. Sloane sees the TIE fighter careen into the shuttles and a section of the palace, but also an unruly crowd growing outside. Fortunately, Crassus's yacht was not parked there, so there was still a lifeline off-world, and she informed the attendees they would be leaving when his yacht arrives. The TIE fighter crash temporarily cuts power, allowing Wedge to escape his confinement. He sneaks through the palace and ambushes Sloane's assistant, using their holoscreen to contact the New Republic. Jazz, Temmin, and Sinjir discover Nora had crashed the TIE fighter. However, they're overjoyed when they find Nora still alive, saying TIE fighters do have ejector seats. The crowd outside the palace begins to grow in number and vigor. The 4 devise a plan to enter the palace through an abandoned underground droid factory. However, they find that the doors to the palace from the factory were sealed off. Sinjir devises a plan to enter the palace as his Imperial alias and convince the council that the catacombs are their only path to safety. Nora is reluctant to trust Sinjir though, given his Imperial background, but agrees. However, stormtroopers arrive and take them all into custody. They find Sinjir captured as well when they are brought before Admiral Sloane. Then Temmin stands up and walks over to Sloane, asking her to honor the deal and let him, his droid, and his mother go free. Sloane refuses to free anyone but him and shoots Mr. Bones' head off. Sloane then orders that Temmin be taken to the roof of the palace to be thrown off. Outside, John Burrell fights troopers manning a turbo laser, but the turbo laser is damaged as a result. The Imperial Futures Council, along with their prisoners, board Crassus's yacht, and stormtroopers begin to fire on the crowd. Temmin is then thrown off the roof, but is captured by the crowd below and barely makes it onto the ascending yacht. John manages to get the turbo laser back online, with the ascending yacht only being in range for 1 shot. He ends up damaging the yacht, nearly breaking it in half, but it is still able to fly. Temmin evades stormtroopers to release his captured friends. The New Republic fleet arrives, and the yacht crash lands inside the Vigilance, killing Crassus. Jazz is able to capture Tashu and General Shale, but Grand Moff Pandion and Admiral Sloane evade them. Admiral Sloane and Grand Moff Pandion escape aboard an Imperial shuttle. Pandion attempts to take the shuttle control away from Sloane, but she locks him up. Sloane and her pilot jettison in an escape pod and detonate the shuttle. They arrive aboard the Star Destroyer Vanquish, which vanishes into hyperspace. Celebrating a victory for the New Republic, Nora agrees to form a team with Jazz, Temmin, Sinjir, Jom, and Mr. Bones to hunt Imperial remnants. Meanwhile, Admiral Sloane rendezvous with the hidden Imperial fleet in the Vulpinus Nebula. There she speaks with her superior officer, Fleet Admiral Gallius Rax. Rax tells Sloane that the meeting was a test to weed out the weak from the strong to prepare for the battles to come. So that's going to do it here for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this recap. Stay tuned for more recap and lore videos coming soon. And other than that, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you.